Pod Chef. Pod Chef. Pod Chef. Pod Chef. You're listening to Pod Chef. When I say pod, y'all say chef. Pod Chef. You listening to Pod Chef. It's a podcast about Top Chef, and that's a broadcast. It's on TV, and you can watch it. They got 19 seasons, that's a lot, kid, but you can skip those. We do recaps about the whole show, not the food though, but the other stuff. Yeah. You're now listening to Pod Chef, the only official podcast about the TV show Top Chef, with your hosts, Jamal, Brian, and Reeves. And I only said their first names because I don't know everyone's last name, and I'm trying to be polite. Now enjoy the show.
Welcome to Pod Chef, the official Top Chef podcast. This is episode 97 with your host, Jamal. There's no co-host today. It's just third mic and me. Brian is here. Engineer Brian, say what's up.
We're having a hard time. Like many places in the country, we're having a hard time getting staffed.
Yeah, and that I don't want to blame inflation, but I kind of am blaming inflation.
Well, we're not keeping our wages up with inflation. No one wants to work with us because you don't get paid, and that's not going to cover inflation.
And I'm going to be honest with you, these wages are going to stay stagnant
until something changes.
These wages are going to stagnate, and they're going to start to stink. Have you ever been around like water that's just been sitting around and not moving? It starts to stink. And those mangroves start to stink. And that's kind of what the feeling is here.
That's what America's like right now.
That's what America's getting to be like. It's just stagnation, and it stinks. And until things change around here, don't expect these wages to change. So all of the interns that we have working here at Pod Chef, we thank you for your service.
Yep.
You can write all the letters you want to management complaining about your pay. You can do all the walkouts.
But do not unionize.
You can try and unionize, but that costs money because unions cost dues and you don't get paid anything. So I don't know how you're going to... I'd actually like to see you unionize because you don't get paid anything here. So how are you affording your union dues?
This is a challenge then. Go ahead, unionize.
Yeah, go ahead. I'd love to see it because you don't make money here. So if you do have the money for the union dues, why don't you just go do that thing?
Where else are you working?
Yeah, where else are you working?
Did I tell you could work somewhere else?
Yeah. Did we say you signed a no compete clause?
Yes, you signed a no compete clause.
It was written out at the top. No competition ... no compete clause.
Yeah, our lawyer's not good.
It's terrible.
And it's because it's a website.
Mm-hmm. Greenberg and Betterman.
Yeah. And it's spelled differently.
Yeah, it's green with an E at the end, Berg as in Pittsburgh.
Uh-huh.
And instead of putting better men, it just says woman. So it reads Greenberg and woman.
Okay. Yeah, until we can monetize this podcast, this is what it's going to be.
Yeah. And so our interns are very much working very hard to try and monetize the podcast and get, some other content behind a paywall that you'll definitely want to pay for. Trust me.
Yeah.
But until then, this is what you get.
You get free stuff.
Yeah. And if you're asking yourself, well, what comes with the free stuff? Well, you might get voicemails from former co-hosts who are out on a walkabout on their voicemail machine. Well, we think it's from them, but it's his voicemail.
Yes.
Mailbox.
Yes.
So
let's do a quick, in case you just joined the podcast yesterday, in which case, where you been? And also, come here often.
Yeah. Why'd you join on a Sunday?
Yeah.
That's the Lord's Day.
Why'd you wait till episode 97 to join?
Yeah. You should have joined at 95 at least.
But do not join at the first 30 or so.
Don't join at that. Always go to like episode 50.
So if you did just join, the co-host, second chair, Reeves, has been gone for, and I'm looking at my calendar,
bro-host,
a long time.
A very long time. That is what we all put. We stopped counting the days. We just said long time.
And it's because he went on a walkabout. Walkabout with Tom Colicchio.
I'm on a walkabout with this kangaroo.
Maybe he went to the Outback. We don't know.
Not sure.
He basically went to keep Tom alive. Tom watched a lot of Bear Grylls. He watched a lot of Alone. He watched a lot of Naked and Afraid, and he was like, I can do that.
A quote from Tom was before they went, I watched it, therefore the skills transfer. And Reeves was like, oh, God.
It's the same. It's like reading. When I read something, I've learned it.
Yeah. I'm a
so
master.
Reeves bit the bullet, and he went with Tom on this walkabout to keep him alive and to experience the world. And before Reeves left, he set up a voicemail for us.
Yeah. He said, in case I need to contact you guys.
Yes. But also he gave it to people. I don't know who. I think he's meeting people on his journey and giving him the phone number.
Yeah.
Giving them the phone number.
I'm sure he has a card.
Not to women, though.
No. Well, why would you? You can't approach women with business cards these days.
Yeah. Well, especially if you got a wife. He tells his wife that he gave his business card.
Yeah. And then that's a whole thing.
So sometimes people call in to this voicemail and we get to listen to them. And it's been Reeves once.
Mm-hmm.
It's been Optimus Prime once.
Once Bumblebee.
It's been a radio DJ once.
Yeah. The Morning Breakfast Crew.
Maybe there was somebody else.
I think there was just a fan. Yeah.
There was a redneck
fan. And I'm only saying redneck because Brian said it first. So I have a pass.
That's actually our word. And you can't say it.
That is the R word.
Jamal says, you say it, I can say it. It's just a word.
Yep.
You're the one, you're the one giving it weight.
Yeah, and if you're listening, you're like, Jamal's kind of racist. I've got redneck friends, so I can't be racist.
Yeah, he's got one redneck friend. And
nice try. And that's how that works.
So we've got a voicemail to listen to. We don't know who it's from. Could be Reeves. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're ready. We're going to cue that up now.
Yeah, let's listen.
Bingo.
Hey guys, it's the third amigo here. I know it's been a while. Things have gotten real weird here with Tom on our walkabout. He found out I had a phone and stole it from me and then insisted I buy it back from him for $15,000. So after we finally figured out how to do a PayPal transfer to his offshore account, as he called it, just like a Wells Fargo account to me, he proceeded to then give me my phone back, but this time it wasn't my phone. It was a piece of wood that he had whittled down to look like a BlackBerry. I told him that it was not my phone. That's not what I gave him. He said, yeah, but this is better. And these are coming back, so you're going to want this. And then I was like, this isn't active. I can't work this phone. He said, you don't get technology. You got to go in and change your settings. And then he was like, listen, I got to make a call. And so he took it from me and then proceeded to have, basically an imaginary phone call conversation with Padma where he was yelling at her about this next season. And at some point they reconciled and he ended the conversation by saying, tell your ancestors I said thank you, which seems inappropriate. It's definitely inappropriate. Anyway, after this whole ordeal, I decided to back up and leave. I was like, listen, I've been out here way too long. We're not accomplishing anything. We're just going in circles. So we've parted ways. I hope Tom's okay. I don't think he knows where he's going. I'm trying to hike my way back to civilization to get to the airport. Oh, by the way, I found a real phone. That's how I'm able to make this voicemail. I found it. It was buried under some poop. Anyway, I hope things are going well and the pod is doing good and you guys are enjoying the current season you're in, which is by far the most exciting season of Top Chef. Definitely a good season, nestled in between two very average seasons this season you're doing now. Anyway, I love you guys. See you soon, hopefully. Bye.
So
wow.
He said he found the phone, which I was worried. I was like, how did he make this call?
Did he make the wood phone work? Yeah.
So he said he found a phone in a
under some poop.
And my first instinct is, is he actually now back at civilization and kind of like, how airplanes have old movies playing? Did he watch the first Jurassic Park And he just said, because there's that scene where they pull that phone out of the dung of the T-Rex.
Is that the first movie that happens?
Isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's the third one. It's the third one.
I think it's the third one.
It's the bad one.
Yeah.
So it's the bad one. So did he watch that on a plane or somewhere in a bad hotel, cheap hotel that was only playing Jurassic Park 3, like a motel would? And then he's like, "Oh, I'll say that's where I got the phone."
Yeah, I mean that's the only thing that makes sense, because if he's just like checking underneath poop,
yeah, what are the odds?
I mean, maybe he was checking owl pellets for like for
I
like
feel like you
bones.
You can just blow those over and see a phone underneath.
That's true. Unless it's in it, unless the owl ate it, and you're looking through and you found like a mouse skull, and then you find like clumps of hair.
Yeah,
and then
the phone would more than likely be just attached to a dead owl carcass at that point.
Yeah.
Because it would have died from eating it.
So wow, a lot happened in that voicemail. So yeah, so Tom stole Reeves's phone,
which we don't condone theft, obviously.
No, don't steal anyone's phone. Unless it's your phone and you're stealing it back from them in a hotel lobby, and it goes viral, and then you go do an interview and you tell people that you thought that the person had stole your phone, and it turns out that you're a racist. But so he stole his phone, and then he sold it back to him for $15,000.
What? We were talking about inflation. I mean, that is some price gouging right there.
That phones cost a lot of. Look, I haven't bought a phone in a long time.
Yeah,
do they cost that much now?
I think so. They should. I mean, they're mini computers. Wow. That's what I'm told.
Even my computer doesn't cost that much money.
Yeah, my computer definitely didn't cost $15,000.
So he sold it back to him, and we sold it back to him. He sold him a piece of wood whittled to look like a blackberry, which he said are coming back.
Which, I don't know. I don't know if anyone wants a BlackBerry anymore. I mean,
it was cool when they came out.
It was cool when it came out. It was a hit. It was a thing.
Oh, huge hit.
But now, I mean, how do you make the switch from, these flat screens back to typing?
Yeah.
I
mean, I like when you could feel the keys.
I mean, I thought it was actually practical for adults to have like a keypad and, to actually get business done.
Yeah.
But now that I've got like this flat panel, and I just would miss fat fingering a texting message and causing a big communication delay. Like I feel like the time I would save with an actual keyboard is almost not fun.
And I feel like we'd lose a lot of laughter. You know how many laughs I get every day from sending like a weird autocorrect, or I get a weird autocorrect, and we're all just like, ha ha ha, you didn't mean ducking.
Yeah.
You meant the F word.
Yeah,
now
you meant
we're
the
all
other
laughing.
One. And we're all tee-heeing about it. You imagine how bad it would be if like, you've been on kind of like a tear of just telling me every curse word you've wanted to say to me and not messing it up.
And you're spelling them all right.
Yeah, you're spelling it all right. Like I don't have to do any work on my end. It's kind of taking the fun out of this conversation, this argument.
If anything, go back 2 steps. Go back to just having the 9 buttons, and let's go back to T9 word.
Oh my God, that
was very funny.
That was the time.
You press 1 3 times to get the C.
You had to really want to send a message back then.
Now it's too easy to send a message now, and that's why people send too many. It's too easy.
Yeah, I think a punishment for someone should be they have to use a Nokia phone from like the 90s.
Yeah.
The late 90s. Like that would be a good punishment for someone.
Someone who does what?
Someone who does some kind of electronic crime. Like they can only use outdated technology now. Where all they can do is send basic messages or phone calls. They can't do anything. They can't surf the web with it. Like that should be someone's punishment who misuses the internet. Now they have to use the internet machines from the 1990s.
Yeah. Good luck.
Good luck getting stuff done there.
That'll teach you. You want to go some places, they still cut your hand off. Well, now it's going to take your phone away, give you a Nokia phone.
Yeah.
Oh. And you don't get to go to the mall kiosk and buy the little light antenna that lights up and changes color, or the back or the green lightning back cover of it.
They don't make them anymore.
Man, how fucking cool were those? God. Did you have the little antenna that like lit up?
Well, I had sex when I was younger, so yeah, obviously.
I didn't, but I still had it, and people could tell.
Obviously, I had one of those cool antennas that was lighting up when people would call my phone. It was like a signal to everyone, this guy has sex.
Man, that shit was so cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, I definitely had those, and I'd always change it out for the newest one.
Yeah, my ringtone would have been a song. I'd download like an MP3.
Yeah. Not only did I have a ringtone, I had a ringback tone, and I also had a voicemail that was super professional with like rap songs with the N-word in it. It was good. I was so cool back then.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was your ringback?
My ringback, I think it was Jay-Z's 99 Problems.
All right. So I'm going to cue in your ringback tone and you do the part where it started.
Okay.
Okay. All right. This is me dialing your phone number. Boop, 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 boop. Please enjoy the music while your party is waiting.
I got 99 problems with a bitch I ain't one. Hit me. Yeah.
And then now I'm your mom calling, and I say, Jamal.
Yeah, and I go, hello.
I pay for this phone, and this is what you do.
And I go, you ain't my problem.
Wow. I pay for this phone, and this is what you do.
I say, you ain't my problem.
She's gonna take your phone and give you a wooden BlackBerry. All right.
My mom used to call and say, I'm the solution. That's what she said.
That's like her wrestling.
She's like, I'll take this phone away from you and be the final solution.
The final solution? Isn't that
Oops.
Is that a racist thing?
Oops.
All right. So, and then he was talking to Padma on this imaginary phone about the next season. They were having a fight.
Yeah, and I think it's because the next season's in London.
So let's break some news here.
Breaking
The next
news.
season is in London or Italy too. I think it's just in Europe.
Okay. I thought it was London specifically. Maybe the final.
Well, Gail's in Italy right now. Gail keeps posting pictures from Italy.
Gail's always in Italy, if you think about it.
So, and it's going to be an international all-stars.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means.
I think that means they're bringing back Fabio.
I think they should bring back Fabio. That'd be dope.
Yeah, I think they're bringing back Stefan and Fabio.
Fabio.
Any of the contestants that are not from the U.S. are coming
with an
back
accent.
to the show. Yeah, are coming back to the show, and it's going to be hard. This is going to be the closed caption season.
Yep.
If you're American and you're watching this season, you're going to have to turn on those closed captions.
Yep.
Not me, because I watch non-American TV all the time. I can understand a lot of British accents and stuff.
I'm going to turn them on.
Yeah, you're going to have to turn them on, though, because you're kind of, as we talked about, you're white trash.
And every episode I'll be turning, I'm saying to like you, I'll be like, what does cheeky mean?
Yeah.
So Carrie, my lovely wife, is watching Love Island currently, which is the craziest show.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone is very British. And they say things like cheeky, and they say mug, and they say, you all right? You okay? That's how they say, what's up? And they say, snog.
No, they don't say you're all right. Usually in Britain, they just come by and say, all right.
You okay? No, it's like, you okay?
Well,
and
usually.
that's how you would be like, hey, what's up, man? You okay? Cheeky. Having a cheeky snog.
Cheeky little laugh.
Cheeky Nando's.
Yeah.
You British people are wild. Any British people out there listening to this? Y'all are wild, man. Y'all wildin'.
I love British people. I love British TV, British humor. They do it better and they do it first.
So also, Reeves left Tom in wherever they were. We don't know where he left him, but he left him.
Tom might not make it to the next season. No.
If you don't see Tom in the next season, it's because he's still out in the woods.
And then it's like, okay, Reeves, are we going to address the elephant in the room? Like Tom, they had the news said they found a wooden BlackBerry in the Australian outback.
I have an idea.
But no Tom Colicchio.
This is a prompt. Somebody write this down. I'll write this down. What if when Reeves, and we don't know he did this, but I think maybe he did because he's smart. When Reeves left Tom, he grabbed his journal. And when Reeves gets back, we can read excerpts from Tom's walkabout journal. Mm-hmm. And that would be really cool and something to do on the podcast that put something that we could do some work in and make the podcast funny again.
Uh-huh. I mean, it would definitely be better than like the 20 minutes that we've come up with right now.
Where we're really stretching out this voicemail. Really making a meal out of this voicemail. Yep.
So that isn't a good idea for something like to maybe go through Tom's journal or the walkabout journal at some point in time.
That's a good idea, and I wrote it down. So I hope that Reeves thought to grab his journal.
Yeah. So hopefully, when he does get back, he is with journal in hand and wooden BlackBerry gone.
Yes.
So that's enough of that. So let's move on to Chefs I Prepared for You. This is a segment we do every week where we talk about what we had for dinner last night, and only last night, and presented as if we're presented to the judges on Top Chef. I'll go first. Chefs I procured for you because
we're procuring.
I was out on the town, boy. Out in Baltimore. I was in Baltimore last night at a show, and I had some tapas before the show. And I went to this place called Tapas Titro.
And I hope you brought some singles. You don't show up to a tapas bar and not bring singles.
I maybe had too many singles.
Okay.
I kept passing them out to everyone. They were looking at me weird. I was like, you can't get this many lap dances.
Yeah, and get a private meal. $45 for a private meal, no touching.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to eat the meal without touching it.
Yeah, no touching. You want to touch. And it seems like you can touch.
You know what I hate about that sign? Human nature is one of you don't like being told what to do. So as soon as there's a sign that says no touching, what do you want to do? I want to touch.
I'm touching.
Don't tell me not to touch. If you want to stop kids from touching stuff in the grocery store, you say, no, touch everything.
Touch everything.
I'd love for you to touch everything.
You know, it would be cool if you touched everything.
Yeah, I demand that you touch everything. They'd be like, I don't want to touch anything.
Yeah, you tell me what to do.
Don't tell me what to do, Mom. Shut up, Mom.
You can't fucking tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Mom.
You were anti-Semitic a little while ago, Mom.
What? Oh, back to your mom's phone call when she called for the final solution.
Yeah, she always does it in the grocery store.
Yeah. All right, let's hear about your experience at the tapas bar.
So I went to the tapas bar, all A cups. It was very small plates.
Yeah.
I ordered 4 dishes, and they're pretty good. Brussels sprouts with bacon, manchego cheese, cream, and truffle oil. The cheese I could have left off, but it was good. And then I had albondigas, which is 3 lamb meatballs with tomato sauce, sliced almonds, and cilantro. Now, I will say this about this. The meatballs, very tasty, right? But they felt almost like they weren't fresh meatballs. They felt like they were like prepared maybe a day before and then re-cooked or something.
They probably prepare them pretty early in the day.
Yeah, it didn't feel like they were fresh made meatballs, but they're still good. But you could tell because when you cut it open, it like had that like straight line cut on it. I was like, I'm not so sure these are brand spanking new formed meatballs.
Yeah,
but they were good. You don't really notice the sliced almonds. I don't know what they were supposed to say.
That seems weird.
I don't know what they were supposed to add to it, but it was like I cut the meatball up and then dip it in this tomato sauce, and that's what I really cared about.
Is the tomato sauce like a marinara? It was like that.
Yeah,
kind of
it's basically it's on a bed of marinara, and it's got 3 meatballs on top, and the almonds are sprinkled on top with the cilantro. And I was just like, these almonds aren't doing nothing for me. Then I had lubina, which is pan-seared branzino. Got my little branzino on.
Yes.
Filet with salsa verde and cherry tomatoes. Very good.
That sounds really good.
And then I had gambas aillo. I think I'm saying that right. And it was just shrimp, basic shrimp sauteed in olive oil, garlic, and parsley. It was good.
Real simple.
Real simple, but it was really good. And, I wanted something light, packed with protein that would hold me over for the rest of the night. And this did.
Yeah,
these 4 small plates did it.
Looking at your meal here, it's all mostly protein. You did a pretty good job avoiding. I mean, there's going to be carbs in the tomato sauce, but you can, that's whatever.
Yeah.
But mostly it's all just like protein and some veggies here.
Yeah. It was very good.
That shrimp have heads on it or tails on it, or was it a full shrimp?
Nope. De-shelled, just the back of the shrimp. De-shelled and de-pooped.
Just the body.
Just the body.
Lottie-dottie.
I like the body.
I like the shrimp body. It sounds like a good meal. Did you was this a sharing experience, or did you eat these 4 plates to yourself?
No, this was all me, homie.
You're supposed to share tapas.
I was there alone. I'm going to share it with.
Your team didn't meet up for a meal?
No, I didn't tell them that I was going to get tapas beforehand.
Wow, and they're going to find out this way that you went to a tapas bar?
Well, for them to find out, they'd have to listen to the podcast. So
you don't think they do?
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah. I'm sure they would have loved going to tapas. I'm sure they would have had
I'm
singles.
sure they would have
help you with it too.
I'm sure they would have.
A tapas bar is really an experience for friends.
Yeah, it's for friends, or like you take your girlfriend.
Oh, women love going.
Women love going to tapas bars.
Yeah, women love to be entertained at tapas bar. Women see other women tapas bars and they're like, yes,
they're like, oh, this is so much good fun.
Yeah, I feel safe, and I don't feel like I'm gonna have to be violated.
Yeah,
by these men who want to touch.
But there's clearly a sign that says no touching. So.
Chefs, last night I procured for you Veggie Heaven, which is a vegetarian Chinese restaurant in Montclair, New Jersey that we frequent.
Wow!
Often.
So you went to fancy Montclair, huh?
Yeah. We go there and they go, you guys smell like West Orange. We have to leave immediately. I got my usual, which is they have this really, really dope hot and sour soup that is so good, and it's like $275 for this like
$275.
Yeah, really good price for this decent sized bowl of hot and sour soup, and it's dope. And that's the app. And then my main is beef and broccoli, which is dope, so good. And then we got some vegetable lo mein to split, and my wife got the her usual, which is the chicken, the curry chicken noodle soup. And man, it's just good every time, and it's a good price point for what it is, and it's vegetarian, and the people are friendly.
Yeah. Spent $300. Yeah.
No, like 20. Yeah. Well, yeah. So I mean, that's just the soup alone. After the soup, it's like $25 more.
Then it's like normal.
Yeah. So
they gouge you on that soup.
Solid thing, and like I said, I had surgery multiple times the last couple weeks, so cooking's not really been the thing that I've been doing. However, Carrie's been cooking it out the park lately.
Yeah, she's been firing a lot.
Yeah, she made. We talked about the fried green tomatoes. Chef's this past weekend, she made an all-day marinara sauce that she with tomatoes that she picked from her garden.
Wow!
And she put her foot in it. She full on like boiled the tomatoes, skinned them, put them in there, did the whole thing.
And is this where she took her induction cooker and put it on the lowest setting, and then like put her feet in it at the couch all day long?
Yeah, and I had to bring her bonbons
and let it.
And she was like, "I'm cooking,"
and let it.
Just watching Love Island.
Man, that must have tasted good.
It was really good. It was really, really good. And now today, actually, she's downstairs cooking tomato soup with tomatoes from her garden. So she keeps getting every day. She's pulling in like 9 tomatoes from her.
A lot of nightshades happening.
It's what? Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna be so swollen. We're gonna go buy some jars to can some of these tomatoes, so I get swollen in the winter.
Finally, they get canned. These tomatoes are fired.
Yeah. So we're doing shit over here. Last night we ordered food, but in general, we're doing shit over here, despite how wild life is right now for me. So,
okay. I think I'm winning. I think I won this because I went to a tapas place.
Yeah, usually you win when you go to tapas.
At dinner and a show, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
Literally.
Oh, what was the name of this episode?
Focus group. So why don't you focus up, Brian, and we'll be right back after this.
Sure.
Pod Chef.
Welcome back to Pod Chef, episode 97, Top Chef, season 5, episode 7. Press play on Hulu right now. We're on episode Focus Group, and I'll be honest with you, this one was a barn snoozer. This episode was boring. It was first of all, let's just get into it. The quickfire challenge. The chefs arrived in the Top Chef kitchen to see Padma, joined by Michelin star winning chef Jean-Christophe Novelli, in a Diet Dr. Pepper inspired not challenge. The chefs had 45 minutes, that's not a quickfire, to craft a sugar-free dessert so good the judges would think there was nothing diet about it. And guess what the winner got? Immunity from the elimination challenge. I thought this was a boring challenge. This was a boring quickfire. I didn't feel like any of the chefs were truly inspired by this.
And it was stupid because they were like, you can't use sugar, but you can deep fry, you can use honey, you can use like any other sweetener in the world, just not sugar.
Just not sugar.
So there's nothing diet about anything.
Yeah. Also, it's like substitute one death chemical for another, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I stopped drinking Cokes the other day. Well, not entirely, but I bought some Diet Coke. It's just a different way to die.
That's what it says on the side of Diet Coke.
Yeah, Diet
different
Coke,
way to die.
a different way to die. You won't die of diabetes, you'll die of chemical poisoning.
Yeah.
So here's the two things that I take away from this quick fire challenge is one, it had nothing to do with Diet Dr. Pepper at all.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one person poured some Diet Dr. Pepper in their food. That was Arian, I think.
Yep. And that didn't help her at all. If anything, it made it worse.
Yeah, and it looked like Stefan maybe put a little cup of Diet Dr. Pepper out, but they never talked about it. And the other thing is that this chef Jean-Christophe Novelli, took a bite of everything and said, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And at one point in time, he said interesting, and was it Jeff who said thank you? He was like, no, he's saying that to everyone, brother.
Interesting.
That doesn't mean good.
Did you like this? Or are you happy with this? I am. Interesting.
Interesting.
Did you use this? I did. Interesting.
Interesting. Where are you from, Stefan? France. Interesting.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It's a joke.
I know where you're from.
And then he spoke French too. I'm kidding. And you know that Jean-Christophe Novelli guy didn't smile once.
Nope. Which is trademark French.
Yeah.
The French don't smile. They're not happy people.
No, I don't know any French people.
Well, I've been to France. I've seen it firsthand.
So they're doing healthy stuff, and it all kind of looks like garbage.
Trash. Real trash.
It's all mostly banana based.
Peach lavender bread pudding one.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Peach lavender?
Yeah.
What does lavender have to do with peaches?
Get a little lavender taste to it, a little extra taste to it. It probably is pretty good. He seemed to love it.
Sauteed white peach and roasted cashews.
He well, that sounds good to me too.
That's radicas.
And I do like peaches a lot. It's peach season, y'all, but they're not really great at the farmer's market right now. I'm not sure why, but we're going to keep trying.
I know why.
Why?
Inflation.
Yeah, cool. Hosea did some fucking thing where he cooked a bunch of figs and just burnt the figs and then was like, here you go.
Yeah. Didn't even wrap them in bacon or anything.
No, he said that shit sucks.
Yeah.
But another thing about this Michelin chef, he was like, yo, that shit sucked. When she was like, who were the least favorite? He was like, that shit sucked. Mm-hmm. That shit sucked. That shit sucked. All that shit sucks. So whatever. It's over. Radica wins.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, so you're going to have to do a new challenge. Elimination challenge. And Tom Colicchio shows up.
Yeah, Tom shows up in their house, and that's when you know it's a bad thing's about to happen.
He sits him down.
Yeah, he comes in to their spot and immediately says, one of you go get the ladies. Brings them in, and he says, all right, chefs.
All right.
You've been complaining that you haven't been able to cook your food. Well, guess what? Here's your elimination. Cook your food. Cook whatever you want.
I think he was embarrassed. I think he didn't want to embarrass himself in front of the fuck is that guy's name? Toby?
Mm-hmm.
Who is a real bitch. I think he was worried that if Tom brought his chefs to this guy, who's now replacing Gail for some reason.
Toby Young
shows up, and Tom's like, here are my chefs, and if they suck, he is gonna roast Tom, because here's what Toby does. That motherfucker writes a joke for everything he's going to say.
Oh, my God. This guy I wish I had taken more clips, but I also thought they were bad, so I didn't clip them.
No.
But this guy had some kind of punchline for every critique.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, man, leave work at work. We're at dinner right now.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I don't go to work and make jokes.
Yeah, I'm definitely not making jokes at work. If you know where I make jokes, here.
Can I tell you something? While watching this episode, and maybe you felt this way too, but I swore we've done this episode already. Because I can remember talking about the weapons of mass destruction with you and Reeves, and either we did it separately, just outside of a podcast, or we've done this episode.
I think both may have happened. The pandemic's been so long.
Listen, folks, if we've done this season before and we're 7 episodes in, at this point, don't tell us. Just let us finish the season.
Yeah.
I was watching this and I was like, I think we've done this episode before. I swore I've talked about knowing what time it is in history based on him making the joke of weapons of mass destruction about Rodica's soup.
Yeah, I thought so too.
So,
but then I thought, is this the Mandela effect?
It's something, because we would have had to have done it 2 seasons ago. So there's a small chance, and I haven't gone back and looked because I'm afraid that it's actually true.
I'm afraid too that we've already done season 5 and we're just doing it over again, and no one has the balls to tell us.
Could you imagine? And I took offense when someone said that we were honestly the worst Top Chef podcast. But if this is what we've done,
then you're right.
Then with that, you're right.
There, you win.
100%. We are honestly the worst Top Chef podcast.
If you can link me to the episode where we already did this episode, you win.
Yeah, we're stop.
Garbage.
We should probably stop.
But that's not going to stop us from making a behind the paywall tier.
Yeah, we're gonna start watching. I did watch episode 1 of Top Chef Family Style the other day.
I think behind the paywall is going to be us talking about Top Chef Masters, because if you're talking about the Masters, you're going to have to put it behind the paywall.
Yeah, and Family Style too, so we can talk about all about that base woman critiquing food.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be so busy watching so much TV.
I really hope we've done this episode because you've heard all these bits before, but everything that Toby says, Tom and Toby really fucking butted heads like two alpha males this episode.
They're like two male lines that were like trying to be like, who's going to lead this pride?
Yeah. Everything that the one said, the other had to like say like, no, I disagree. And they were banging fucking horns like two big horned rams out in the fucking
and all you kept hearing was, you're like, me and you and the crew were like walking down the mountain and all we hear is clang.
Clang.
It was every like 3 minutes. We're like, what is that sound? It's like this like crackle that's going out through an entire valley. And it's Tom and Toby Young button heads.
Two alpha males.
Yeah.
Big horned sheep.
Trying to vie for the right to fuck the food.
Whoever wins gets to fuck the food and repopulate their pride.
And their plate.
They
get seconds.
And then that's they control the pride and all the plates are theirs to take care of.
Yeah.
And then the plates start doing the work and they just lay around and the plate brings them food.
Yeah. I mean, that's not how a line pride works, but yeah.
Yeah, it is. The women do the work.
No, that's not how it works, but all right.
So, look, I don't know anything about lions. All I know is that these two men, this is the first time Tom has been confronted with some heavy male energy in his judgeship.
Yep.
And he feels threatened. You can tell.
He feels threatened. He's like, he kept looking at his watch. He's like, when does this guy leave?
And the thing is that like the guy was doing jokes and Tom doesn't really do that.
No.
So, Tom's being like, it's not that funny.
Yeah.
It's not that funny.
Tom's like, this isn't actually the Apollo.
This is not that funny.
This is not that show. We don't have that many black chefs here, bold chefs here.
This isn't that funny. Yeah. He almost got rid of the only one there.
Then he was like, well, no, I want to put her on the wall in the movie in the future.
Gotta be able to talk to her. You're not going to mention something. This is the season with your wife. You've not mentioned what's going on in your guys' life at all while you're watching this.
Oh, you had to bring that up. I was hoping we could get around this. We're
halfway through this season, which we might have done before.
Yeah, and we may have done this entire bit before, but you know what? You know how people during the pandemic, they get sick and then they got to quarantine in the same house? Like, I'm in the basement now.
Yeah.
I'm quarantined in the basement now. I can't talk to her until this season's over. Because she said she doesn't want me to change my view of her based on watching these episodes of her past. She doesn't want her past to have an influence on our present.
Yeah.
And she said, if I allow her past to have an influence on our present, we might not have a future. And that truth bomb just landed like it was Nagasaki.
Wow. Yeah. She gave it to you on a piece of burnt wood too. Yeah. You put it up in the kitchen.
Yeah. So I'm in the basement. She has we have one of those wall elevators that like old houses used to have. And dung waiter. And she twice a day she sends my food down. And it opens and it goes ding, and that's when I'm like trained like Pavlov's dog.
She put anything else in there, or is it just food?
She'll put like
underwear, anything in there?
Yeah, but that's just because she wants me to do laundry because the laundry machine's downstairs.
Okay, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, I'll be like, oh shit,
like, do the laundry.
Yeah, and then she'll like drop something else down. I'm like, oh, you just want me to do laundry? Okay. I'm like getting super excited. I'm like, okay, and she's like, no, there's more coming, and like she drops the rest of it. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm quarantined in the basement right now, so
tough time over there at the Hall Newman residence.
Yeah, and she did keep her last name.
Yeah, that's fine. So did my wife.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine for you. I had a big problem with it.
Okay, you wanted to be traditional about it.
Yeah, I said, you wanted me to be a guy who would care about your chef cooking, like I care about our last names, And she said, "Well, I've got an identity. I don't want to lose it." And I said, "Fine."
Yeah, this is where the bloodline ends for you.
Yep.
You ever think about that?
Yeah, I do.
I don't plan on having kids. And because of that, this is where the bloodline ends.
Well, to get real for a second, I do think about this maybe being where my bloodline ends, but also I don't know where my bloodline actually begins because this isn't my real last name.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that now.
We're gonna have to get serious now. Because
time for me to learn something. All right,
there's an Anuman tribe in Africa, so
let me put on my listening hat.
So maybe my last name is actually X. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what my real last name is, so I don't know where my bloodline actually begins. So I can't.
I apologize for the actions of my ancestors.
So, do we want to have that conversation?
So they're making food.
Yeah, let's talk about this. Tom tells them they got to cook their own food. So the chefs,
family style.
Yeah, the chefs break up in two groups: Group A, Group B. They go shopping at different times. They cook at different times. At one point in time, though, Fabio does give us sous vide 101, and this, take out your notebooks, kids, so we can learn some cooking.
Grandma, she has like 500 years old recipes. It's beautiful pasta. And I sous vide the lamb. Sous vide means cook the lamb in vacuum seal bag in temperature controlled water. It's perfect. 55 minutes.
So he does sous vide the lamb, and that's a good way to cook red meat because it does keep it juicy. But you have to then put the perfect sear on it, and this is a great transition to what I showed Brian last week, which was my sous vide steak dinner on Friday. That was what, Brian? Perfection. With that red wine sauce and mixed vegetables. Mm-hmm. That is how you sous vide. And let me tell you something. You bring that out 2 hours in the sous vide at 130 degrees. You bring it out. You pat it dry, salt, and then you pan sear it for 2 minutes on each side. Let it rest. Oh, it was perfection.
Sounds pretty good.
It was perfection, and then I cooked up that pan sauce afterwards, and I actually made a mistake because my shallots had gone bad, so I couldn't use them. So I just used garlic. So it wasn't even as good as it could have been, Brian.
Yeah, you're missing the onion flavor.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, when you sous vide, you can't just rely on that to cook your food all the way through. You have to then, it's got to be kissed by fire a little bit.
Yeah.
To do the final touches.
Yeah. So, there's a lesson for you right there.
Mm-hmm. Sous vide 101. And this will be on the test.
This will be on the final.
Yeah.
What else do people make? Eugene made whole fish, 2 whole fish swimming, and he made...
yeah, they were swimming as he brought them to the table.
Yeah, and then he made daikon noodles with tomato sauce and basil, which sounded weird, which everyone was like, the fuck are you doing?
Everyone was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm being risky. This is too risky.
Everyone like, yeah, there's a difference between like being risky and like being stupid.
Yeah, you know what risky is? Putting a slice of cheese on apple pie. And
that's risky.
And not asking people if they've tried it before. That's risky. Yeah. This is just bonkers.
You wanna know what risky is? Eating a piece of chicken from the night before out of the fridge without reheating it.
Yeah, that's risky.
Is that going to be good?
Yeah, that's
risky. Probably, because I'm taking a risk.
Yeah, I'm taking a risk.
You know what's stupid? Eating a piece of chicken out of the fridge that wasn't cooked the night before. That was raw.
Yeah.
I'm being risky.
You know what else is risky? Letting Brian cook a whole turkey.
Yeah, or a little spring chicken. I'm going to fuck it up.
Or a little spring chicken. It's probably going to be pink inside.
Yeah, that's stupid and not risky.
That's stupid and risky.
You know what else is risky or actually stupid? Doing improv with me, because I'll take it there.
And we can cut this part.
No, this is the good stuff.
No, we can cut this part.
So he did that and everyone fucking hated it.
Yeah.
What else did they hate? They hated
the fact that they came out and found out that the other food experts are the other half of the contestants.
Here we go. Here we go. We were told that this cooking challenge was going to be blind.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, we clearly know which group of 5 or 4 didn't cook it.
Yeah, and only Carla has glasses, so who else is blind?
Exactly. It was like it honestly, they didn't do it because by bringing out the 6 cooks who didn't cook the food, they know the other 6 that did cook. So it's like, oh, I know it's one of these 6 people. So it's not blind.
It's not blind. I know who I can pick from. And then, like, by the way of the dishes, I can kind of put together, oh, this person loves making seared scallops, you know?
Yeah, Jamie.
Jamie.
And then with freaking German food, they're like, I know who made this.
She was called the Scalloped Witch, right?
She was called the Scallop Witch.
In the MCU universe.
Mm-hmm. She's in the MCU universe.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for the new Disney.
Yeah, keep an eye out on for the second coming.
It's gonna come out after She-Wolf, Attorney at Law. She-Wolf, She-Hulk, Attorney at Law.
Yeah, She-Hulk, Attorney at Law.
And then Scallop Witch. So, and then they also hated
Attorney at Paw. She-Wolf.
Yes, they hated Melissa's ahi tuna cruda tacos, which they said you could smell when they put them on the table.
That's never good.
And he was like, not in a good way.
Yeah, that's never good.
And can I tell you something? When I was 14 years old, I used to wash dishes and bus tables at a restaurant called Don's Seafood.
Yeah.
Chickatagon, Virginia, Don's Seafood.
I think I went there for dinner once.
It's not good. And the slogan for Don's Seafood, me at 14 years old, and I wore this shirt, and it said, and I had the bumper sticker on my car, it said, if it smells like fish, eat it.
Now, is that a double entendre?
It's trying to be.
It's trying to be. Now, okay. I'm not so sure if a 14-year-old should be exposed to that.
Well, I shouldn't have been exposed to lots of things at that job.
Yeah.
People are gross in the back of a kitchen, and they will tell you stuff.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you? I think it was Don's. I went and I ordered just a vanilla ice cream dessert, and it came and it tasted like bleach, and I was like, oh boy, and I spit it out.
Yeah, no, that place was not good. And you know how I quit that job? I just stopped showing up. I just didn't show up anymore. And then, they also hated Carla's food because she cooked a scallop on it, and they said the scallop didn't work with the risotto, which I guess they liked the risotto. Which
she should have just kept it. She talked herself out of just keeping it as a vegetarian dish.
Yeah.
Because she was like, I think they're going to judge me if I don't cook a protein, so I'm going to throw a scallop on there. And it's like, well, risotto is a main dish. Don't ever try and act like risotto is someone's side piece. Scallop is a side piece.
Yeah.
Let's just put that out there right now. You just put 2 seared scallops on a plate and nothing else. What's it doing? That's not a meal.
Not feeding me.
That's not a meal.
I'm gonna be hungry.
It needs to be accompanied by something more stable.
I need or give me 10 of them.
Yeah, 10 is it? But that's who's got time to work with.
Give me a 20-piece scallop with sweet and sour sauce. Now we're talking. That's a meal.
That's a meal.
They also liked Radhika's dish, I think. Right?
I think so.
The top 3 were like Hosea, Radhika, and Jamie. Is that right?
Yes, Jamie.
Yeah. So Jamie won.
Mm-hmm. Good for you, Jamie.
And then it came down to the 3 losers.
And this is where we get Tom's tough talk of the week. Let's listen.
Even though I ended up on the bottom, because it was the first time I've ever seen my food critiqued while it's being eaten.
What did you enjoy about hearing? I mean, it was pretty harsh.
I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be as harsh as it was, but I learned a lot from it.
What would you have changed? If you
Well,
could
I
go
would
back
have
and
done
do this
something
again?
else.
It was a failure of imagination. If we ask you to do a dish that's going to wow us, I don't think that fish tacos is something that would immediately come to mind.
Yeah, it wouldn't come to mind if someone said, hey, come have dinner, I'm going to cook whatever I want, and I'm going to wow you, and they made fish tacos. I'd be like, okay.
I like fish tacos, but
no.
I get what
they're
you're
good,
saying.
but they're not wow.
Yeah. Oh no! Wait, one of the top 3 was also Aryan with her fried skate.
Good for her.
Over her fake mashed potatoes again without
Yeah.
butter.
How she keep getting away with that?
They really hated Melissa's tuna tacos. They really hated Eugene's fish. Uninspired and a failure of imagination.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do after that?
You go home, you cry, you hug your loved ones. You know,
You pick a new
you pick a new profession. You pick a new profession. You hang up your knives and go.
Something that's not based in imagination.
Yeah, Because
maybe something math related.
Yeah, when Tom Colicchio tells you your food tastes like you have no imagination, you can't really then walk that back and say, I have imagination.
Look at this. It's a unicorn burger. I have imagination. Look at this. This is what if I did a pizza and instead of cheese, it's like guacamole.
Okay.
And then
when you said unicorn,
actually the crust is a tortilla.
When you said unicorn hamburger, I don't know why I thought of an empty ice cream cone sticking out of a hamburger.
And see, now you're in my head. You're riding my imagination.
And like maybe all the fillings in the hamburger's been blended up inside the inside, and it's frozen. It's a unicorn hamburger.
That sounds pretty gross. But you know what? It's my imagination. I'm being risky.
Yeah, taking
risky.
A risk. So I should stay here. Yeah, well, guess what, Eugene? You're gone. You and Melissa are gone. Say goodbye to them. Let's listen.
Melissa, please pack your knives and go. And Eugene, please pack your knives and go. Good luck to both of you, and thank you very much.
You know, I took a lot of chances, a lot of risks in my dishes. So I'll take this learning experience with my new adventures in this industry, you know.
We're going home.
Bye-bye, guys.
The last thing that Tom said to me today was that he was uninspired by my imagination and my creativity. Love you.
I love you too.
I don't want people that don't know me to not realize how creative I am and to not realize how much an imagination I do have. Because that's what I'm afraid of is going to come across in the end.
I'll see you, Carla. Right now, it sucks, but pressure went down, and I met some really good people along the way. Hey, when the booze is gone, it's time to move on.
Bye, guys! You know, I think I've gained the respect of the people in this competition, but in the end, it's not good enough.
A real man can accept defeat. I have no regrets. I did my best on this show. My family will be proud and happy for me no matter what.
Okay, that was long, but it was two people going home. But I gotta say, I said it wrong during it, but underneath all anger is fear. So she's probably angry that she's going home and angry at the stuff she got, but she told you the fear that she had, that people are going to think that she actually doesn't have imagination.
Yeah. And when the booze is gone, it's time to move on.
It's time to move on. So they're gone. Where are they at now, Brian?
Eugene is on Bob's Burgers now. He's the little boy on Bob's Burgers. And Melissa is she took quite a turn after this. What she did, because she had a failure of imagination, is she works at Imagination Stage now, right? Yeah, she works for the Imagination Stage, and she got that job by eating a bunch of candy bars until she found a golden ticket. Nice. And she found the golden ticket, she got the job, and she went to the Imagination Stage, and she ran home. She didn't become a giant blueberry. She didn't get sucked into the juice. She didn't get sucked into TV. She did drink some soda that made her float.
Oh.
But she still got the job.
I'm sorry, you lose.
Yeah, that's what's supposed to happen.
Good day, sir.
Good day, sir, they said to her.
Well, all right.
Gene Wilder.
Yes. All right. Well, that's it for this episode. That was it for the focus group. And again, leave us a message if we've done this episode before. Leave us a review if we've done this episode before and we're just now recycling an old season. And if not,
just give us 5 stars anyway.
Just give us 5 stars anyway, and let us know that this is doing good. It feels good. It feels like it's going well.
This episode feels better than last episode.
Yeah. And next week's episode is going to be a barn burner. Trust me.
So if you got a barn, you might want to get insurance.
Yeah, you're going to want to douse it in water. Trust me.
Yeah, because we're going
to get that wood wet, because otherwise it's going to crisp up nicely.
Yeah, you're going to want to wet that wood.
Yeah. So until next time, we're going to pack our knives and go.
This was fun. Absolutely. This is great, guys. You guys got something here. This is fun.